You hand the guy at the kiosk what he asked for, 300,000 rupiahs, around $20, and walk out with a SIM that someone else just paid 60,000 for. Same card, same plan. You paid 5 times, and the worst part is you will not find out for 3 days. When a traveler at your guest house mentions what she paid in the same airport, at the same counter, an hour after you. Now, there is a fair price for a tourist SIM in Indonesia. There are 4 carriers worth knowing, and there are 3 Indonesian words that change the number on the receipt. That is what the next 10 minutes is for. Most travelers think the SIM card problem is a haggling problem. It is not. It is a counter selection problem. Pick the right counter, and the price comes down on its own. No haggling, no friendly back and forth, no awkward dance with a guy who sells 200 of these a day and knows exactly what tired looks like. The trick is knowing which counter is the right counter, and there are only 4 of them in the whole country worth your money. Here is the mental model that gets people overcharged. They walk out of arrivals, they see a booth that says SIM. They assume one SIM kiosk is roughly the same as the next, and they pay whatever the guy quotes. That assumption is the entire problem. What is really happening is that Indonesia has 4 real mobile carriers: Telkomsel, XL Axiata, Indosat Ooredoo, and Smartfren. And they each run their own official counters. Around those official counters, in the same hallway, are resellers. Resellers buy the same SIMs and mark them up, sometimes by a little, sometimes by 5 times. The card is identical. The plan is identical. The price is whatever you let it be. The government already did the hard part. Every SIM has to be registered to your passport, which killed off most of the truly shady stuff. What is left is a markup game, and a markup game has a simple answer. 6 moves. Take them in order. Step 1. Pick your carrier before you land. If you are spending most of your time in Bali, Jakarta, Yogyakarta, or any other big city, all 4 carriers work fine. If you are going anywhere rural, Flores, inland Sumatra, the small islands, pick Telkomsel. Its coverage outside the cities is the reason it costs a touch more. The other 3, XL, Indosat, Smartfren, are cheaper and perfectly good in cities. Decide once, on the plane, and you walk in already knowing the name to ask for. Step 2. At the airport. In Ngurah in Bali, Soekarno-Hatta in Jakarta, walk past the first SIM sign you see. The first sign is almost never the carrier's own counter. Look for the actual carrier logo, the red Telkomsel logo, the blue XL, the yellow Indosat, the purple Smartfren. The official counter is usually a few steps further in. Skip this and you are buying from a reseller. That is where the 5 times markup lives. Step 3. Before you hand over a rupiah, ask the price in plain words. Berapa? Meaning how much. A fair price for a tourist SIM with a real data package is between 50,000 and 150,000 Indonesian rupiahs. That is roughly $3 to $10. If the first number out of the vendor's mouth is 200,000 or 300,000 rupiahs, you are at the wrong counter. Smile, say no thanks, walk to the next one. Step 4. Ask exactly what is in the package. Paket data, data package. You want to hear 3 things: how many gigabytes, how many days it lasts, and whether it works nationwide or just on the island you are on. Some of the cheaper packages are local only and turn into a brick the moment you fly to the next island. If the vendor will not break it down, that is your answer. Go somewhere else. Step 5. Hand over your passport and let them register it. This is the law. It takes a few minutes. The vendor types your passport number into a government system and activates the SIM against your name. If a vendor offers to skip this step or says no passport needed, that is not a deal. That is a SIM that will stop working in 48 hours when the network kicks it off. Wait the few minutes. Watch them do it. Step 6. Before you leave the counter, ask them to test it. Have them put the SIM in your phone, confirm you have data, and confirm the package shows the right amount. Then download the carrier's own app right there on their Wi-Fi. My Telkomsel for Telkomsel, My XL for XL, My IM3 for Indosat. The app shows your real balance and your real expiry date. If the package the vendor sold you is not what the app says you have, you find out now, at the counter. not 3 days later in a guest house. That is the whole sequence. Right counter, named price, named package, passport registered, app installed before you walk away. She lands at Ngurah a little after midnight. She has decided on the plane Telkomsel because she is going to Flores in a week. She walks out of arrivals, and the first booth she sees has a big sign that just says, SIM card tourist. She walks past it. 20 meters further on, she finds the red Telkomsel counter. The guy there is reading something on his phone. Selamat malam, berapa, she says. He names a package, 120,000 rupiahs, 15 gigabytes, 30 days, nationwide. She nods. She hands him her passport. He types for a couple of minutes. The SIM goes in her phone. He hands the phone back and waits while she opens My Telkomsel on his counter Wi-Fi. The app shows 15 gigabytes, 29 days remaining. The numbers match. Behind her in the queue, a couple are at the SIM card tourist booth she walked past. She hears the vendor quote 350,000 rupiahs. The couple are tired. They pay. She says, Terima kasih, picks up her bag and walks out. One thing worth knowing for when you top up later, the carrier apps, My Telkomsel, My XL, My IM3, let you buy more data straight from the app with a foreign card. No second trip to a counter, no second round of vendor roulette. The app is the long game. The counter is just the first move. 4 phrases. That is all you need. Berapa means how much. This is the one you open with at the counter in step 3. Say it before anything else and you set the tone. You are asking a price, not accepting one. Pocket data is data package. Use it in step 4 when you ask what is in the plan. Pocket data berapa. What is in the data package? How much? Ini resmi means is this official? If you are ever unsure whether you are at a real carrier counter or a reseller, this is the question. A real counter answers yes without blinking. Terima kasih means thank you. Use it on the way out. It costs nothing, and it is the right way to leave a counter. Here is the version you screenshot. Pick your carrier before you land. Walk past the first SIM sign. Find the carrier's own logo. Fair price, 50 to 150,000 rupiahs. Confirm gigabytes, days, and nationwide. Register with your passport. Test before you walk away. That is the whole video on one screen. You now know how to walk into an Indonesian airport at midnight, find the right counter on the first try, and pay the same price the locals around you are paying, not 5 times it. Indonesia is generous to travelers who ask 1 or 2 questions before handing over money, and quietly expensive to the ones who do not. One more thing. You just saw how much 3 Indonesian words can do at a counter. If you want more of that, there is a video of mine on the best ways to pick up some Bahasa Indonesia before your trip, including a lazy method most travelers have never heard of. It is on the card popping up on screen now. Tap that one when you are done here.